Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Stream just went poop. Well, not stream, everything. I don't know. It was weird. It was actually weird. Actually, because of Monster Hunter, I recently rolled back my drivers. I don't know if that would be an issue. Still a valid driver, but still. Okay, well, let's see if or what the autosave saved. Hello. Sometimes I don't know which mic is running, so I have to like snap over by it. So let's, because every now and then like it'll come out my, I'll use the mic on the webcam, which is very poor. Not good. And I don't know usually because it picks up the same. First time opening SFM is always a chore. Yeah, I'm using OBS. It was actually my whole computer that like crapped out. It wasn't just OBS that crapped out. I had to reboot completely. I just updated OBS though too. So I had updated OBS and rolled back my driver since last stream. So a couple different things. But yeah, there's no reason not to use OBS. Actually, oh okay, that was making up my desktop. I do either. No, with everything else I've used before, it's either a hassle or processor intensive. But OBS is free and just it's a little bit more to set it up the first time. It doesn't screw with my settings when I update OBS. I haven't had to do that to me yet that I know of. Again, not that I know of, but it's always kept at least like all the video settings the same, as far as I can tell. There's my output. Yeah, well, everything looks the same. This takes forever. I have way too much crap in this program. I really just want to someday just wipe it, like, clear everything out, but I'm just afraid of losing something. Like, there's a modification I made to a model that I forgot that I did, or a model that isn't available anymore, stuff like that. So I usually try to open the program like 10 minutes early from the stream. Well, after the first load, it's usually not that bad. It's like it keeps it in memory or something, and it's pretty quick. Well, the problem is if I back up stuff, like my original intent was to just copy paste my user mod and reload everything because all the subscriptions should come back, but there's modifications I made to the files outside of user mod too that are potentially could be removed that I would want to keep, and also if you're just copy pasting everything back in from user mod, any of the things that you were getting from refreshing everything you're removing by just pasting it back in. It's just back to normal essentially. So that's why I wish I could just start clean slate. Just dreams.
Here's some facts about flying. Here's some facts about flying. Here's some facts about flying.
Okay, so the mouth's still there. The desk, this isn't backed up, so there isn't too much I lost. But not that. Actually, I don't think I need to back it up too much. Right there is fine. Seeing enough to go underneath them. And then here, I had just turned her head. And so the eyes locked the camera. Okay, she just needs to be turned a little bit more towards.
Here's some facts about flying.
Okay. I used to actually be really big on backups. I'm not as much anymore because I've stopped caring as much. Like when I was working on Remembrance, I had two SSDs running, or not SSDs. I had two 1 terabyte drives that were running in RAID, and one of them started failing. I was getting bad sectors popping up, and it was just causing it was causing certain frames to die. And it's actually funny if you go look at my Remembrance stuff. Nope. Oh, I did rename it. And you go into some of these renders, let's see if I can find one. Pretty sure it's this one. Because it was super, it was before 4K. It was one of these ones. Unless I cleared out, I might have cleared it out. I was having these issues where a frame would die, and I had to correct it. So I kept making a backup. Actually, I might have gotten rid of them. I had it daily make a backup of my gaming or my renders folder for any changes only, and it would put it onto a separate hard drive. And then when I went to go look at the renders, if one of the frames was bad, I could at least grab the backup from the other one. But I couldn't just replace it directly, because if I replaced it directly, it would be putting it back over the bad sector. So I had to rename, or I had to bring it in as a different name so that I got put to a different sector, delete the original, then rename it back to putting it back in sequence. It was super annoying. I probably had about 70 or 80 bad frames that I had to do that with, and it was super annoying. And it caused a lot of delays. I eventually got that replaced. I tossed that one drive. The other one was fine. And now I have just a 2 terabyte drive instead. But I have, well, actually it's this drive right here. This is my backup drive where I toss all renders and everything, and it's a slower drive. It's a 3 terabyte, like if you know the Western Digital stuff. So I have a black, which is the higher end speedy ones for general use, and then I have this is a green. I believe it's a green, which is usually higher capacity, slower speed, but more reliable. So so that's where I put all the renders after they're done, just to keep it off my main drive. But even then, all this hard drive has for the most part is renders, live streams for the past essentially 4.5 years. I mean, there's a lot of live streams here. Each of these folders containing usually about a 4-hour video. And it ends up being, I have 538 gigabytes free out of 2.7 gigs, or out of 2.7 terabytes. So I've used well over 2 terabytes just in storage space. This one doesn't matter. This is an old backup I don't use anymore. So yeah, it's pretty. I might even have to eventually get another backup. So I hope not, because it's ridiculous. But they're kind of cheaper now. But yeah, this is my main drive. This is my OS drive that I put some stuff on, but it's an SSD. This is another storage one, but it's really small, like 600 gigs. I used to use it for page files, but I don't do that anymore because I didn't see a point with an SSD. Anyways, that was weird diversion of topics. So,
here are some facts about flying.
Okay, so how do I want to have her act with this? I think when she says facts, I want to do a head tilt, and then have her.
Here's some facts about flying. Here are some
I think I might delay this a little bit more.
facts about flying. 1. One. You need wings to fly. 2. 1. You need wings to fly. 2. Awesome.
Okay, that works a little better. Everything was just moving way too fast. Thanks, Skylike. Get a green drive die? Did you get any warning that it was dying, or did it just kind of one day? Well, the nice thing about my green is that normally I'm accessing it so little that it just shuts off and doesn't spin. It's at usually I was really surprised when I went to go access it here that it actually didn't like stop me from looking at stuff right away, because I think it's because I'm still off a fresh reboot. But normally it'll take me like a minute to start spinning back up. That sucks. Like the nice thing with when my black was failing was it was literally like a file just stopped, the thumbnail broke, or where's the thumbnail? I think it was the thumbnail did break as part of the break, but it would be when I was trying to use it in After Effects, it would suddenly say that it's broken. And so I had, and when I went to go through, then the preview render of that would be like missing part of the image because it got broken at that bit, and that would be my indication that it was broken. And it was a really stupid workaround. I really wish that I could find it, because it was just to show, unless it was Alushai, might have been this one that I had that issue. I swear it was Remembrance though. Yeah, I swear it was. I don't know why would I got rid of that, because I'm huge on not deleting anything. I will never delete anything. I will keep it forever. Yeah, it wasn't the 4K. Maybe was it before then that I had that issue? I can't think of what else I had or made that had that issue. Oh, actually no, it was leaving the stable. That's what it was. Yeah, because when you look at here, it says bad frame. That's what these were, is they were corrupted. So I renamed it bad frame, then I brought in the other one to correct it. But so like that one had 3 I'm not seeing it. Oh, that's the crossfade testing, so that's separate. Must have been this one though, because I have I have frame fixed. Look how many renders I had on this. This is sad. Yeah, I'm actually looking for cheaper SSDs too. I've thought about getting another one, but I have a 500 gig and I got it for about $100, and that was like 3 years ago, I think. I used to have a 120 terabyte or 120 terabyte, yeah, 120 gigabyte SSD, and I maxed it super quick. Or is it a 64? I think it was a 120. No, I think it was a 64, and I had my OS on it, and I just filled it super quick, so I ended up getting a 500 gig. It was a pretty good deal at the time. It was an Intel something. Well, that was a Black Friday deal for 500 gig for $100. So I'm pretty sure that could be about the normal price now. I've thought about doing another like RAID 0 setup, but RAID 0 scares me now because of the bad sector bit. I don't know if anybody's heard of it, RAID 5. That's what I've actually considered doing. because a RAID 0 is where you have two hard drives that are both sharing data, so you can pull data from both drives at the same time, so effectively speeding things up by getting you're pulling it from two places at once, doubling the speed. A RAID 5 is the same thing. Well, I think as a RAID 10 is considered to be where you have like two hard drives in RAID and two hard drives in RAID, and so you're getting the benefits of the RAID, but you're copying it constantly to the other one too. So you have basically four hard drives that have the data of two hard drives running in RAID. But a RAID 5 is a little slower, but it's where you have two in a RAID and you have a third one that has a parity. So you have the normal RAID, and then it makes a parity of the two onto your third drive. So if any of the ones fail, you can recover the data using the remaining two. So it's a cheaper version of a RAID 10. Didn't know there was that many RAIDs. I think there's even some other numbers in there too. But I thought about doing that because it's at least getting to the point now where it could be a viable thing. But even right now, SSDs, like the speed from them, I really don't see the need of having a RAID set up with an SSD. They're too blazing fast.
Here are some facts about. Here are some facts.
Okay, last time it was when I grabbed her pelvis that she broke. Okay, she didn't break this time. Oh, you know what? I wonder. I'm going to turn it the other way.
Here are some facts about. Here are some facts about. Here are some facts about flying. Facts about flying. Flying.
Yeah, I actually learned about it in school because I went to school originally for IT, and that's when I heard about it, and that's why I originally set up like a RAID 0 because I understood it then. But that does scare me that if you have a drive that already has the potential to fail, and which any drive does, by doing a RAID 0, you effectively doubling your chances of a hard drive failure. Because if one drive fails there, you lose the data that's on both. Because you can't recover the other one. But the parity is nice because it states that it's like saying you have two hard drives and one has X, one has Y, and the third hard drive is Z, and it basically says X plus Y equals Z. So you can say that if it's like 2 plus 2 equals 4, and if you were to remove the parity one, you still have your two drives, 2 plus 2. You're fine. But if you remove one of the other ones, the parity, you have 2 plus something equals 4. Well, you can still, using the numbers that are there, figure out what the 2 is supposed to be. That is effectively what the parity drive would be. So if one of the hard drives completely fails, you can recover everything on the other one using that parity.
Flying. Facts about flying. 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 Facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Flying. Flying.
Okay, I think it's less uppity. Her head's fine, and her neck's fine. The rest of it, not so much.
Flying. Flying. Facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Flying. Facts about flying. Facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about... Here are some facts about flying. Here's some facts. Here's some... Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Flying. Flying.
Yeah, well, the problem with it, or the reason that, like this, again, because catching up on what you said, the reason for RAID 5 is just is cheaper to set up than a RAID 10, because RAID 0 is the cheapest because you only have 2 hard drives, or 3. A RAID 5 can be set up with 7 hard drives plus a parity, too. It doesn't have to be, I don't know if you need more than 1 parity. I think you do, if you do start doing too many, but I think you can do 3 hard drives on 1 parity and make it work. But I think it's just, yeah, I think you can. Can't remember, but I'd have to look into it again. It's been years since I looked into that. But just that doing a full backup of anything requires an exact amount of duplicate space, so that's why it gets expensive.
Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about facts about flying. Facts about flying. Facts about flying. Facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts.
Okay, I think that might work.
Here's some facts about flying. Here's some...
And these are probably gonna, okay, she's going to turn down for now.
Here's some facts about flying.
Yeah, I don't know about 12 terabyte. Eventually, I mean, really, that's not a bad thing. I'm not sure about M.2. It tells terabyte might be a bit big, and actually, that would worry me almost as much, because if you're putting that much onto a single drive without a backup at all, you're just going to ask for more problems. Something like that I would want to back up. But it was only just recent. I think, like, for instance, I think that if you're about deleting things at work in a year and a half, I don't think I have deleted a single thing out of my recycle bin. I have I've never deleted an email permanently. My previous job, I only started having to do that because I had so many pictures, because my job required it, that I filled up my email box, and I had to start getting rid of it. But I absolutely I hate deleting things. I was really only worried about the body movements for this. Yeah, that should work for now. Might have to reduce some of the motion a little bit. Yeah, I might have to reduce one of these a little bit. Oops. Let's see if I can keep her head over to this side.
Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Here are some. Here are some. Here are some. Here are some. Here are some facts about flying. 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 Facts about flying.
Close your eyes. 12 terabytes? 144 terabytes.
About flying.
You could hold the whole internet.
About flying. Flying. Facts about flying. About flying. About flying. About flying.
So much space though.
About flying. Facts about flying. About flying. 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 About flying. About flying. About flying. Facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts. Here are some facts about flying. Here are some.
I think I'm gonna reduce the motion a little bit right at the beginning here.
Here are some facts about flying.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
Here are some facts about flying. Facts about. Here are some facts about flying.
And I think I can move this.
Here are some facts about. Here are some facts about. Some facts. Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts. Here are some facts about flying.
Oh yeah, you could definitely, because if I had that much storage space, because like right now, my game library list is kind of big, just a little bit. So, I could definitely use it to, you know, download all the games, all of them. Actually, I think that would still be much. It's not Steam sales, actually. A lot of them were Humble Bundle, and recently, if people haven't seen Green Man Gaming, which actually I buy probably more from them now than I do directly from Steam, because they give you Steam keys anyway. And they have a deal going on right now for 50 games for $50, and it's a lot of big good titles. So if you want to pick that up, it's actually a pretty good deal. It includes like Vermintide 1, Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain, Human Fall Flat. I'm trying to remember some of the other titles. Batman Arkham Asylum, I think, is on there too. I actually have a whole bunch of extra Steam keys that I have listed on a document here, so I potentially was going to give it out as a giveaway sometime, because it's free games. I still have so many Humble Bundle type keys to give out to if I want. I finally just got access to it again because I got locked out for a while and I couldn't figure out how to get my password reset or something. It's really annoying.
Here are some facts about flying. Flying.
No, it wasn't too many games. It was, for some reason, like I forgot my password and it wouldn't let me reset it because every time I did, it never sent me the email. And I tried to fix it for a while and I ended up getting locked out like 3 different times trying to get it figured out. And I still couldn't get it. Now I don't know if I remembered or something, but I got it working now. So whatever. I guess IGN was like, you haven't bought enough stuff. Well, let's just make his account password what he remembers it as.
Facts about flying. Flying.
Most sense I ever had. Yeah. I'm trying to get the inflexes right. I think your second blink is off. Definitely have to play with the mouth a little bit because Well, right here, normally I'm not, or I'm not, I still need the audio to figure out the timing for the motions, so this is why I need to hear it.
Facts about flying. Some facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Facts about flying. About flying. 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 Flying.
I'm playing with the audio more. I should put that back up again.
Fly. 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 Fly.
Flagging.
Flying. Flying. Facts about flying. 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 Flying.
I think I might have her eyes turn at the last second there, because that would imply that she's not looking at them instead of us.
Flying. Flying.
I think that could work, but I have to change it a little bit here. Yeah, that's much better. And then I have to give her a little bit of a head down for the motion.
Flying.
Give her a little How often do you get sick of hearing lines after you're trying to lip sync? I've gotten really, really used to hearing audio over and over again. Because it's not just lip syncing, but music, anything. I've actually gotten to now to where if I'm at work and I want to really get stuff done, I'll listen to the same song on repeat for like 8 hours. I kind of did that today a little bit. What was today's song I kept going back to? One of Liam Lee's songs. I don't think it was Renegade. I can't remember. There was another one that was a Liam Lee song that I found where it was a remake of the Tokyo Ghoul song, but I found a guy that did the remake of it that I really liked. I listened to that one on repeat for a while. So yeah.
Fly. 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 About fly.
Oh, she's so sad. Let's see if I can turn her head here. I think I need to offset it a little bit. Yep, and I think that then I can actually, yeah, I can delay that just a couple frames. Maybe one more. Yep, just so there's enough time to see what I'm doing. Doesn't really add any extra work, so might as well. Did that shift the audio right? Yeah, there's no audio in there. Oh, Michael. Giggity. Oh yeah.
Flying. Facts about flying. 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 Here are some facts about flying. Flying. Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. About flying. Facts about flying. About flying. About flying. Facts about flying. Facts about flying. Facts about flying. About flying. Flying. Flying.
I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna have her head bounce a little bit more when it gets to the end here.
Flying. 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 Facts about flying.
think what I need to do here is actually move
Facts about flying.
some of this just over.
Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Facts about about flying. It's about flying.
No.
It's about flying. Flying. About flying. About flying. It's about
I don't know what song that is. Okay.
Some facts about flying. Some facts about flying. Flying. Facts about flying. Out flying. Out flying. Fly. Fly. Out flying. Out flying. 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 About flying. Facts about flying.
There, it's a little bit
Facts
better.
about flying. About flying. About flying. Fly. Some facts about fly. Facts about fly. Some facts about fly. Facts about flying. It's about flying. There's some facts about flying. Some facts about flying. About flying. 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 Out flying. Out flying. 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 Out flying. Flying. Facts about flying. Facts about flying.
Okay, I think I about delay about maybe 3 more frames right in here.
About flying. Some facts about flying.
That should help. Booping? You can't boop. Like this isn't a boop. This is more like an awkward rub. I mean, you could click, but that doesn't really count. I mean, you could do this. So I help here. Here, Mike, can help you out here. So okay, see, Does that help? Is that better? I can't get it any closer. Or we can do this. We can go to this one. Is that better? We can boop. Oh. Oh. This is down. This is dead. I blame you, Michael. Tony is dead. She's okay. It's okay. Got just a little bit of a sore nose. I have to clean my damn monitor all the time. You want me to boop him? Should we boop him? Here, Michael. Here. He is zoomed in. You can boop him now. Right there. You can boop his schnoodle. No boops for him? Oh, well, that's sexist.
Here are some facts about flying. 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 Facts about flying. Facts about flying.
Now I can actually have that. I think I have enough time now to make it so she can have a little bit more of a bounce here.
Flying. 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 Facts about flying. Flying.
I before didn't have the ability to make her have any type of bounce because there was no time.
Flying. Flying. About flying. Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts. Here are some facts.
I have her voice requires like much more exaggerated.
Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts. Here's some facts about. Here's some facts about. Facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Facts about
I think this also needs to be more to pucker.
Flying. Flying. Facts about flying. Here are some facts. Here are some facts about flying. Facts about flying. 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 It's about flying. About flying. Facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. About flying. Facts about flying. It's about flying. It's about flying. It's about flying. Here are some facts about facts about flying. Facts about flying. Facts about flying. It's about
Too
flying.
bubbly.
About it's about flying. It's about flying. Facts about flying. Facts about flying. Facts about flying.
She doesn't feel like it like that.
About flying. Facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying.
Nope, actually doing some of the animating for it.
Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying.
I do want to fix up some of the eyes here though, because it's bugging me that some of the other details aren't there. So like when she goes
Here's some
here, her eyes should go down a little bit.
Here's some facts about flying. About flying. About flying. Flying. About flying. Out flying. Out flying. Out flying.
Okay, I think it needs to go down a little bit more.
Out flying.
I think I'm just gonna try this. I'm gonna try reducing
Flying.
this just a little bit.
Facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. About flying. About flying.
Yeah, that feels a lot better because this was just too much.
About flying.
That feels a lot more natural.
Facts about flying. Flying. About Facts about flying. Facts about flying. Flying.
This one's down quick, and then I can grab the other ones. I guess I'll do fix some in that middle one.
Flying.
Okay, so this one, need to split this up. So, oops. Did you get all your art done for your Sunday busy day? That's left. Oof. What's left? Here we go.
Flying.
Too much left.
About flying. Facts about flying.
Still too much left.
Here's some facts about
I'm gonna get some of the eyelid details done here, so I get some of the other eye motion done too.
here's
Metro and MJ got rejected. You can still do with them whatever you want then, right?
here's some facts. Here's some facts about. Here's some facts. Here.
That's weird. We can't even use them for your own stuff. Yeah, this is gonna like she's doing the motorboat. She's like a little motorcycle from, and then she starts the engine. It's like. Little motorcycle.
Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about. Here are some facts.
Okay, so for the eyes here, because they go when they go to initially go to kind of bite down here, I'm gonna go down a little bit. I'm gonna have him stay there for a minute. Oh, maybe not. Okay, right before then, I'm gonna have them, I think, go down even more. And then this, they're gonna go to the top.
Here's some facts. Here's some facts about. Here's some facts. Here's some. Here's some.
It might. What I'm gonna do is. Can I make your head go down more?
Here's some facts. Here's some facts about. Here's some facts about flying. Here's some. Here. Here's some. Here. 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 Here's some facts. Here's some facts. Here's some. Here's some. Here's some.
I think it'd be kind of cool in general, though. The ponies need more
Here's some
miladies.
facts. Here's some facts about. Here's some facts about. Some facts about. Facts. Some facts about. Facts about. Some facts about flying. Facts about. Facts about. Facts about. Facts about. Here's some facts about flying. Here's some facts about. Facts about.
be able to get away with like a little bit of a raise, but that's about it.
Facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying.
Yeah, that'll work.
Fly. Flying. Fly.
Try any Tex-Mex? No. Oh, no. I got to try. I finally tried a Whataburger. I never had a Whataburger before, and that was pretty good. I thought it was a fancier place, but it looks like it's just a cheap fast food. But it's actually pretty good for cheap fast food. Huge serving for it. But I had to walk there at 95 degrees of humidity. I had to walk half a mile. I think it was a little over half a mile, and then walk back because I'm not the one with the car. I was in Houston for a week. We did go. Well, we weren't in Houston. We were in Conroe, so it was 40 minutes north. No, we went there. We went to Saltgrass. As actually me and the Fourth Aggie, which is another SFMer modeler guy. He lives down there, so we went. He had met up with me. We went to Saltgrass for steak, which is good steak. We said Texas Roadhouse one night, but that was the group. They made the decision on that. I think the day that they went for Tex-Mex was the day that I didn't go. I didn't go out with the group that day. What was that one place I went to? There was like a fish place. Papa Duke's, I think. Papa Duke's. They kept calling it Papa Ducks. And we went to that place the one night. That was when the audit was completely over, and they splurged like mad on food. There was a lot of weird food, but that was good too. I had fish and chips. I'm not a big fan of fish otherwise, but fish and chips is okay. What else did I eat though? I was there in the evening. I can't remember. Oh, because the one night I had so much food from the night before for like Texas Roadhouse that I just ate leftovers that night. But no, it was definitely some good food.
About flying. Here are some facts about flying. About flying. 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 Flying.
There's that's what they're on. What's my streaming setup? Oh yeah, I didn't have a choice to walk because there is 5 of us and 6 of us, and there's 3 cars, and one of them was between 2 people. One of them was for one of them, and then we had the other one. And I never had the keys, so if I needed to get anywhere and I didn't have somebody to drive me, I had to walk. No, I didn't get my cowboy boot. I have a cowboy hat. I have one, but that's from something else. That was from in high school, so I think like 50 years old. No, my streaming setup is I use OBS for streaming. I wonder if I can do this again. It'll do this little infinite thing. But let's see here. Okay. So yeah, so this is my other monitor normally. So I almost set this always up the same. So OBS up here, video down here, straight chat over here, and I have it set so OBS down in this area just copies this little bit of my screen down into the bottom where it says song name. So yeah. That's how that my other monitor looks at all times, and I haven't changed that setup for like a couple of years. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty standard stuff, just in terms of settings or whatever. I have a 2K monitor, but I run this. I downgrade it to 1920 at 60 hertz instead of 2K at 144 when I'm streaming, just to keep it easier.
Facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Facts about flying. Facts about flying. Fly. Fly.
No, I really didn't have time to like buy too much other stuff down there. We did go to a mall one day and I thought about buying some Texas something or another, but really a lot of the stuff you can buy in a souvenir shop, you could just like buy on Amazon for like cheaper and just say you were there. So I just didn't see a point of getting a lot of this stuff. Not in today's day and age.
Flying. 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 Out flying. Out flying. Flying.
Okay, so she goes wide here. I have to have her eyes follow suit. Go up.
Flying.
Probably have it delay a little bit.
Flying.
The same thing, they have to bounce a little bit downwards.
Flying.
And I don't want to keep them in sync,
Flying.
because then it doesn't actually look like they're bouncing. It looks like they're just locked to the eyelid, which doesn't make any sense. Dallas is trying again.
It's about flying. Fly. About flying. Here are some facts about flying. Flying. Flying.
Howdy, y'all. The amount of advertising that like played off of the y'all thing was stupid. Like, really, you saw that phrase on so many different signs.
Flying. 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 About flying. Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Here are some.
Okay, I'm not gonna worry about
Here's
wings
some facts about flying.
and tail right now. I was gonna say the
Facts about
animated.
flying.
And the hair could be definitely done better. One thing I like about this model is these little hair bits coming down. You can add so much emotion to it.
Flying. Here are some facts about flying. Facts about flying. 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 About flying. Flying. About flying. Here's some facts about flying. 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 Facts about flying. 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 Facts about flying. Flying.
Still think that this is having to be quicker.
Facts about flying. About flying. Here are some facts 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 about flying. Flying.
Okay, yeah. I was trying to see if I could keep her eyes open a little bit, but this is honestly too much.
Flying. 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 Here are some facts about flying. Some facts about flying. 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 Flying.
I want the bottom teeth to show more, but I can't do that with this model. Oh, I kind of can.
Flying. It's about flying. 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 Facts about flying.
Let's keep it with that. Hicker Snickers? Is Hicker Snicker an actual word? Because that's a really great word.
Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying.
Okay, I might call that one at least good for its basic animation. I like Hicker Snickers. God damn y'all, Hicker Snickers. Got off my property. It's like you need to have that like tooth whistle that I'm just not able to do. The Hicker Snicker. Oh, I can't do it. You know what it is. Kind of like the old man pedophile from Family Guy. doesn't look uninterested enough. Is it the eyebrows above or not? I can't remember how those work. I've never been very good with the eyebrows, so I tend not to use them. Actually, I could probably put one of them as... No. You can't do wrinkles like that. I don't even think the new ones can. No, but that actually would be nice. The problem is, it's just the if you think about an eyelid, is like to have on a pony's eye here. So when it goes to close, if you think about how much distance that eye is trying to cover, you're having to hide a lot. To have it look good, you're trying to hide a crap load of polygons right in this area of the eye. So for a normal human bit, you don't need too many because it's a small little eye. But for something this big, to get the detail that you need, if you actually look at, actually, let's do, because these ones are much, oh, there's ENH. I'm not going to go augmented, that's too much. Let's just go Cheryl here. So if you go and look up close to the eye here, you can see it's hard to make up, it's not the eye actually, but there's a lot more vertices right on the edge of the eye as compared to the rest of the model around it, because it's going to have to stretch that part of the model so much. So to get a good nose wrinkle here, you'd have to add a crap load here, and that might be crossing into some of the area, and as soon as the eye goes to close, it could start pulling really strangely on that, depending on how it's done. You would either have to add a whole bunch of other ones in here so that it blended well, or it would just be adding a lot more to the model, which is understandable why they don't then. They do have it where if I do the nose wrinkle, it does give it a little bit there. This one doesn't have too much of a, or isn't too strong with it. I think Rainbow's is a bit stronger. Yeah. So you could do that. They did add in, well, this is right side only here. Some cheek bits, but even then, that's kind of dangerous because like this, it pulls it up, but it makes it like a flat bit. These flexes only work on A to B, so you can't have it like give it a whole trajectory from one side to side or the other. You can just give it its starting point, its ending point, and the slider just does the in between, which is why one of the reasons that males' mouths are tough or princess mouths are tough, because with the females, female models, their mouths are rounded, so the A to B kind of works. It might cut a little bit into the rounding part, but at least it still works for to a degree. But when you look at actually, this would work. When you look at males or princess models, their mouths are more square. Therefore, if they were to do a pucker to go up to this point from here, it would have to cut through the mouth to get there. Because so if you're trying to do a whistle, so right here, the A to B would actually have a cut through the middle of the mouth, which doesn't really make much sense. And this is the reason that the you go to the upper face here with pucker. They go up to this point, and that's the furthest they go forward because that's the corner of the mouth before it curves back in. So that's one of the reasons that oh, hello. Oh, yeah, that's the reason that that's the case. Ooh. With the princess models, so and the male models, they're both for the same reason. My thought is you could give it a second flex, so one to push it forward, one to pull it in, but then you'd have to have a whole bunch of those polygons go with the first bit just to be able to stretch in correctly, and that would be a lot of work and stuff. So yeah, stuff about models that are interesting. That's why there's a lot of limitations when it comes to this stuff. I already think that the detail that is on the pony model as it is are immense compared to a lot of other models. Like if you look at like even this model, if you zoom in and you look at the polygon count of the wireframe and the face here, you can see, and the tongue's in there too, but you can just see on the nose here, just to give it a nice lighting, there's, I mean, each of those triangles is a polygon. That's an immense amount because a 3D engines can't round things. There's no curvature in 3D space. All it is polygons that are perfectly flat, stacked in such a way that it looks like it's round, and then using lighting techniques for how to light things so that it doesn't light the polygons, that it like smooths over the edges between them to make the lighting look like it's perfectly smooth. But if you were to zoom in on all these polygons, you would see that each one is just a flat surface from there to there to there to there. But when you back up, it just becomes rounded. But if you were to open up like Scout, Where's Scout? This bot Scout. This is target. There's so many things apparently with Scout in them. Let's try heavy. I don't want that either. Give me just TF2. There it is. So you can see it, and just for the heavy, his mouth definitely has the majority of his facial details, but you can see that they didn't put as near as many flexes in there as we did, as the ponies were done. A lot of that has to do with texturing details, like even this head, to get the round head. If you, so you can see the edges on there. A lot of that is hidden by the textures because it's not a perfectly flat color like ponies have. They can hide a lot of stuff in there. They can give, because of how they do the shading with the actual textures itself, it gives a false impression of indents and details that aren't actually there. So it's very sad, man. Anyway. Yeah, and that's the reason. The main reason I've always felt with the Alicorns that they have a lot of issues is that the lip sync is difficult because of that pucker. So all of the talking that they're doing is going to end when they do a pucker at the front of the mouth, which always makes it feel like flat and like mushed, like against glass. That and the mains just feel like putty, like they're floating there. I've tried different methods to try to get a mane that actually flows, and I did have some tests that were promising, but to make it work was such a stupid workaround and so much work. Like, you had to actually modify the map itself to give it a wind element, and that wind element only went in a single direction. Therefore, if a pony turned, it could change the way that it worked. It was stupid. It's just not built for that kind of thing. So I think that's one of the issues with princess models. There's a lot of ideas that I'd have for princess stuff if I could have a mane that worked better, but that mane and the mouth are the main issues I never work with, or I try not to work too much with princess stuff, or at least have them as a focus. Them sitting is usually fine, but it's when they're walking and you have this enormous flag the size of Argentina that's attached to their side of their head. It just doesn't work so well. Make those run sequences. They ever include mouth as special shortcuts, or just nose scrunch? What do you mean by mouth or expressive shortcuts? When I think run sequence, I'm like literally thinking running. Because people that make like animation sequences to share with people, they're just using the tools that are available on the model, so they can't exactly add in any of that functionality to actually modify a model. The game's how it uses it, or because SFM is kind of like a game, is it's as a VTX file, I think. I can't remember the file name, but it's a file name made for a render using live within SFM. But the editable copy has to be processed from an SMD to actually get it to go and work in the system, because it's not just about putting a model out there. It also has to have information for gaming stuff. So like if it's shot, what kind of a bullet, what is the bullet going to do to it? So what kind of a material is it? If it's wood, if it's metal, if there's jiggle bones, how do the physics work for jiggle bones? What is its mesh for impact? So what is its hitbox? Like if you actually go and open up the models here, let's go back to Rainbow here. So if you go to Rainbow here, and this is an older version of the model, yeah, and you can see that there's a few less polygons compared to now, but this is the Naka ones. These are what started off the good detail for stuff. This is the actual collision model. which when you're running a person with connected bones, the engine figures it out for you, but it's just a very, very simplified bit that shows like for Rainbow right here on her tail, for some reason it split these into pieces, and so if you actually shot her right here, it actually wouldn't count, or right here it wouldn't count, or right here it wouldn't count, only within those areas. So because it's a game, you have to have where is things going to impact with it. It's a whole bunch more information that you really wouldn't need in another different types of 3D software. RD is not amused by your booping. Okay, deviation into weird information land is done. Yes, I guess. I think this one has the bones. Yes. I can actually... Oh, yes, that's what I want to do. That might work better. Fun for some stuff. Moving the eye, or readjusting it like that helps. Because this starts to get suspicious. I don't want that. As long as you're kissing here, stay away from there. I think maybe I want her eyes lower. She's sad. But I think I agree that it's the having a wrinkle there would be great, but I can't do it. You know, her looking at the camera is not gonna work. So do I want to keep Scoots enraptured, or do I want to have her look at Rainbow and then look back?
Here are some facts about flying. 1. Here are some facts about flying. 1.
Okay, I'm gonna shorten that a little bit more.
1. You need wings to fly. 2. Awesome. 1. You need wings to fly.
See if we can get away with putting it here, because then if I extend this again, yeah, it stays with that file.
1. You need wings to fly.
Yeah, I think that because the beginning here
Here are some facts about flying.
is only 2.5 seconds, if I go and try to have her turn her head to Rainbow Dash and turn back, I'd have to extend it probably by another second or so, which seems to me like then the first half, by the time that scene is done, the first half of that goes from a super quick thing of her talking to then just stopping. And I think the pacing would be off. So I don't probably want to make this any longer for right here than I need. It's just supposed to give a small bit of context and then move on. I think I can have Scoots definitely, like, we can have her lean forward a little bit. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, I'm never gonna play with. I am gonna play with her face for sure. Like, for one, before here, she should probably actually have less happy, and then have afterwards here and less. Go more like a grin.
One. One.
Stool Stool that looks, doesn't even look like a word.
One.
Nice to grab the same bones for each. Delay these ones.
One.
I think I might have her do it just a slight motion. Very little. So the before part is going to have the eyebrow be sarcasm bit. It's going to be a little lower. Probably lower in general.
One.
Can I do whistle to a specific side? No. I'll just do this the hard way then. With the current models, or with the Rainbow Dash one, yes. With the Twilight one, no. The Rainbow Dash one, yes, because the tongue actually has 3 bones, so I have a lot more control to do whatever I want with the tongue. Whatever. But with the Twilight one, it's possible, but it's going to look really cheap.
What? What?
What did I do? Oh, the mouth way up on the side? I don't know anymore. It's gone. Probably. If I grabbed everything, including the nose, and I did it based on the jaw, I'm thinking I might be able to make, yeah, I can make it. I was originally going to try to see if I could find. So that's why I like the enhanced ones. The augmented add more functionality, but at least as of right now, I don't see a need in a lot of it, and it's way more processing. The enhanced add a lot of bones, which adds complexity, but it does allow you to get some more specific looks of stuff you're wanting. There's one side layer, as you see. Oh no, that's gonna do more to it than I wanted. So I will pass on that. I could have it so that just a teeny bit. Might be too much. Then like the problem with that is I can't just do that with like one part of her. I have to do it with like every other part, because otherwise just part of her body is moving.
What? What?
Put a little more detail into this than I wanted, but I kind of like the way it's going, so. What's my graphics card? I'm using a 1080 Ti. actually have to do that to a world. That might be a little bit too much otherwise. Let's keep it as it is. And this, the jaw open, I'm just gonna zero that out just a little bit. I guess I have seen the new Overwatch art. It's one company is if Overwatch comes out with a new short, I will watch it right away because they're all good. The only thing that bothered me about the new one is that all the other ones were placed in like these big, elaborate, cool-looking environments, and this one was really just on the water for the majority of the time. And the water was cool and all, but it felt so contained compared to all the others, which felt so open and vast, and like they were creating lots more questions unanswered. But with hers, it just felt too self-contained compared to their other stuff. But that's kind of a minor gripe compared to all the, just the quality of their stuff in general. Oh yeah, the one thing I'm gonna have to figure out with this too is that right now it's just silence.
Here are some facts about flying. 1. Some facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. 1. About flying.
Now that they're actually animated, that's perfect. 1. It's enough to give just little acknowledgements, and that's it.
1. And
they're mistimed because well, I was mistiming it more for the purpose of I didn't want to have both going at the same time. It just seems weird. But it also allows you to jump your focus. So when you first pop up here, Rainbow starts moving first, so that becomes your focus. And then Scoot starts moving, so your attention goes from her, then her face is right here. Boom, to you're still looking at Rainbow then. So she does her thing, Scoots does her thing, your attention goes to here,
One.
and then
You need.
it'll to jump back to here. So I've tried to, it's hard to do it, but position stuff in the camera so that somebody's eyes aren't jumping around the screen a lot. It was accidental, but it ended up being actually useful here, or working out very well here. So you are going to have to jump from Scoots to here, but that's fine because of the zoom out anyway. I'm going to consider that one done for now. I want to say impactful. I feel like the action that was done in there was very well done. I thought they did a good job trying to mix together all the aspects of Diva into a video. It just felt that the environment that they put her in felt so simple. It didn't. While the fight itself was vast, it just, I don't know, it didn't feel right. In terms of making it feel like normally their videos make you feel like you're within this big universe, but there it felt like you were just in one building. Even like some of the ones with that were in a single building from before had so much other stuff in the building and other characters going on that it just felt bigger than it was. But that one just didn't. I don't know. But that's just me. I don't. They might have had a different director, but I don't think so. I'm thinking it was the same one. It was just, I don't think it was their fault. I think it was just that the place that they chose to put it in made it feel simple. And it just felt weird that this whole town is essentially like worshiping her as some god. Like they have her on all the buildings and everything, and that's just awkward.
Here are some facts about flying. Here are some facts about flying. About flying. Some facts about flying. Facts about flying. About flying. Facts about flying.
I don't like that mouth part right there.
Some facts about flying. Facts about flying. Flying. Here are some facts about 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 flying.
The mouth feels off to me right now too.
Here's some facts about flying. Facts about flying.
I don't know. What is the previewing at?
Here are some facts about flying.
So it's previewing at above 30, so
About flying.
I don't know. I think I might have to let that part sit so I can look at it again later. Let me see it differently.
What?
Oh, actually I should add rainbow here, because right now she hits the end here and nothing.
What? 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 What?
might work. It has her slide back to her original position a little bit. Not much, but it's enough to keep her moving. Scoots is going to need a little bit of that too, though. She's very much just A to B with this. Anyway, it is 9 o'clock, or at least my computer's clock is off. About a couple minutes too, so I will I'll cut it here. So I have to look at the stream for the first bit because I'm pretty sure it's corrupted. So I'll probably just have to start the stream from where after the freeze. So what kind of emotion are you conveying when you use the floppy ears? Well, right now the floppy ears, like the ears that do flop here for like Rainbow they're just the random bits. Like here I'd actually have Rainbow's ear probably flop out just a little bit. But if you're talking about like where they're flopped over, there's so many things that's used for. Various types of surprise, though sometimes you have to keep them up. Sad, hurt. I mean, the ears go down. Almost anytime there's a negative emotion, except anger. Because normally the way I'd see it is that the ears are used for directing sound in. So you put them down to hide from something or from noise or from issues, but you would keep them up to be alert and ready for action. So you can see like the fight or flight. It's usually when I determine whether or not they're up or down. Standard is up, but if they're ready for action, keep them up, and usually turn forward. And then if they're down, it's because they're sad or ready to run or depressed tone. Remember that, just sick of your shit. Anyway. I'll save. I will be back streaming on Friday some more. We'll do more of this, I guess. Get some more stuff done. So, anyways, have a good night. Have a cat. And no, I'm not gonna go sleep. I got video games to play and stuff. So, anyway. Have a good night. Meow, meow, meow.